Live at 5, former President Donald Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, has newly resurfaced ties here in Georgia. Atlanta News First reporter Patrick Quinn joins us live at 5 from the Georgia State Capitol. So, Patrick, Vance is a strong supporter of former President Trump, but he hasn't always been.
Even from J.D. Vance's own mouth, he once called himself a never Trump guy. Now he's Trump's running mate in the upcoming election. He also is potentially thus one heartbeat away from running the country. J.D. Vance was also the former roommate of State Senator Josh McLaurin. Today, Josh McLaurin, he handed us text messages from Vance to McLaurin, and McLaurin told us the J.D. Vance we're seeing on stage this week isn't the J.D. Vance he knows. Is former President Donald Trump America's Hitler? That's what his current vice presidential running mate questioned in 2016. Here's the text Senator Josh McLaurin says is from J.D. Vance, which reads, quote, "I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical expletive like Nixon, who wouldn't be that bad and might even prove useful, or that he's America's Hitler." That text from the now vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance sent to his law school roommate Josh McLaurin, who called the Vance then to the Vance now arguably the biggest flip-flop in American politics.
It's one thing to flip-flop, but it's another thing to do so with so much gusto in such a dramatic way after having laid out the case so insightfully for why Trump was a dangerous man.
McLaurin, who is out of the country, is a Georgia state senator representing North Atlanta. I called him up. What do you feel like you know about J.D. Vance that others may not know?
I roomed with him for a year.
Roommates 2010 to 2011 at Yale Law School. This text from 2016, the same year Vance went on the Charlie Rose show and said this.
"I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him."
So what's changed? We reached out to Vance's team for answers. They did not respond. But in 2022, former President Trump, seemingly unfazed by Vance's characterization of him, said Vance just didn't know him.
He said some bad things about me, but that was before he knew me, and then he fell in love.
McLaurin believes Trump chose Vance as his VP pick because they have an aligned brand. President Biden sees the same.
He's a clone of Trump on the issues.
For McLaurin, who has not spoken to Vance since 2016, he just wants voters to make sure they know the true J.D. Vance.
I think I want Americans to have as much information as possible to make the right decision this year and to think about the direction that our political culture is headed.
And again, we did reach out to J.D. Vance's team about some of these comments. They did not get back to us. However, J.D. Vance, he's been asked about these critical comments of Trump in prior national interviews, including the Hitler comment. He has not denied that he made them. And again, J.D. Vance, he will make his official address at the Republican National Convention later this week in Milwaukee. In downtown Atlanta, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.